Cracking the Code continued. Understanding Lionel's MPC era numbering system on this episode of Toy Train Tips and Tricks. Hello again, this is Mike with another episode of Toy Train Tips and Tricks. In previous episodes, we have cracked Lionel's post-war locomotive and rolling stock numbering system code to better understand what these numbers could tell us about model features, couplers, quality, and more. But when General Mills took over Lionel train production under license beginning in 1970, they began using a different numbering system. While not as complicated or not as specific as Lionel's post-war number system, these catalog numbers can still tell us a few things about the models that we may find at train shows or on internet shopping sites. The challenge, both for collectors and for MPC itself, was that Lionel made many more locomotives and cars and in far greater variety of road names and colors during the MPC era than in the post-war era. As a result, many numbers seem to begin with some logic, but the firm eventually simply ran out of numbers, and many items were cataloged with any number that was left available. Still, these Lionel numbers can give us some insights into the trains that we love, so let's dive in. Like their pre-war and post-war counterparts, most MPC-era products, that's models made between 1970 and 1986, wear their catalog numbers as their road numbers. So, for example, an EMD switcher with the number 8770 on the cab is catalog number 6-8770, with the 6 designating Lionel O-gauge trains, as opposed to other company products such as S-gauge trains, HO-gauge trains, slot cars, and other items of the era. There are a very few exceptions, such as the Lionel number 1776 and 1976 Bicentennial U36 models, the GM50 Gold Chessie System Jeep 7, and a handful of others, but the rule for this era is that the road number matches the four main digits of the catalog number. First, let's look at locomotive models. These, whether steam, electric, or diesel, were all numbered in the 8000 series. That's simple enough. 8 means locomotive. The second number designates the last digit of the first year the model was produced. Thus, an 8400 series locomotive was first produced in 1974. Or it could also be a model from 1984. Lionel made no provision for the decade of production. Still, if you can positively identify a locomotive as an MPC-era product, you have at least a 50-50 chance of knowing the first year the item was produced. The last two digits of this numbering system were assigned indiscriminately, based on what digits were available at the time. So, unlike the post-war numbering series, there's no distinction between higher quality or basic locomotives in this numbering system. So, to summarize, 8 means locomotive, the second number designates the first year of production, and the two other numbers mean nothing of any significance. Rolling stock numbers are not so straightforward. When I first began to study the car numbers from this era, instead of logical patterns, I found chaos. There was no such thing as a 7 for the last number meaning caboose, or 5 as the second number meaning better than the 1 as the second number. It didn't even follow the locomotive pattern of any number representing the first year of production. But as I looked deeper, some patterns began to slowly emerge. Most catalog rolling stock items wore 4-digit numbers between 5700 and 9899, with a few uncatalogued and one-off production items thrown in. MPC apparently tried to designate rolling stock classes by the first two numbers in the series, but things got messy as numbers ran out. So while the MPC number system does not provide as much detail as the post-war number scheme, most cars of the era are divided into somewhat neatly organized number series. For example, the 5700 series of cars generally consists of wood-sided maintenance-of-way tool and bunk cars, and also models of the early wood-sided reefers with rooftop handbrakes. Pretty simple. 6000 and 6100 series cars are usually hoppers of some sort, short hoppers, quad hoppers, covered hoppers, or cars, All of these can be found in this number series. Again, it's quite logical and straightforward. The 6200 series contains Lionel Standard O cars, including boxcars, flat cars, reefers, and such, but also a few stray regular gondolas, plus the rubber band-driven number 6201 operating gondola and some operating dump cars. The 6300 series includes tank cars of all varieties: single dome, double dome, triple dome, short, long tank cars. Nice and neat. The 6400 series includes carryover 6464 boxcars from the postwar era, as well as cabooses of various types, and also the O27 streamlined passenger cars from the Amtrak Lakeshore Limited set. 6500 series cars are all derived from flat cars. Here you will find crane cars, searchlight cars, operating dump cars, and regular flat cars. Again, this is a pretty logical grouping. The 6900 series is also pretty straightforward, featuring scale, wide vision, and standard O cabooses. Almost all of the cars in the 7XXX series are either passenger cars or some type of boxcar or boxcar derivative, including reefers, stock cars, and such. So for example, the 7200 series consists of various passenger cars, whether it's aluminum, O27 streamlined, O27 Baby Madison, or a general style. 7300 series cars consist of stock cars. Simple enough. In addition to the special 75th anniversary set cars, the 7500 series also contains gold bullion cars and the restaurant series of reefers like Taco Bell, KFC, and Red Lobster. The 7600 series consists exclusively of the bicentennial wood-sided boxcars, plus the matching porthole caboose. And the 7700 series consists of similar non-bicentennial wood-sided cars such as those in the Tobacco Road series. The 7800 series is also pretty clean, featuring the Soda Pop series of boxcars, plus Christmas and some other special occasion boxcars like the Trains and Truckin' car. The 7900 series contains mainly Scout-sized boxcars and the similar-sized Giraffe and Dueling Outlaw cars. So far so good, but the 9XXX numbers are where things start to get really messy. I'd like to pause for a moment before things get too messy and ask that if you're enjoying the video so far, please like it, subscribe, and tell your friends. And if you can't get enough of my velvety voice and Hollywood face, yes, I'm joking, consider supporting the channel financially with a membership. Channel members have access to exclusive video content, early access to regular videos when available, shout-outs, special messages, and photos, and more. Thank you for helping me help you keep the trains running. Now back to those wacky Lionel numbers. The 90XX series cars are mostly Scout-type boxcars and other inexpensive rolling stock that was normally found in starter sets, like the Mini Max 4-wheel boxcar, basic flat cars, gondolas, short hoppers, short tank cars, as well as bobber, work, and other SP-type cabooses, often having either a single operating coupler or two fixed couplers, and sometimes even plastic wheels. But like most of these number series, there are some exceptions. 9100, 9200, and 9300 series cars are a catch-all of various car types that either don't fit in other categories or are overflow numbers. In addition to the 9200 series of boxcars, you can also find auto racks, all types of cabooses, flat cars, piggyback cars, gondolas, hopper cars of all types, tank cars, vat cars, horse cars, cranes, special flat cars, operating dump cars, and more. Basically anything that didn't fit into any other number series ended up in whatever number was available in the low 9000s. Most of these cars were of standard quality with two operating couplers and metal wheels, but again, there are exceptions. Then things started to make sense again. The 9400 series consisted of many examples of Lionel's famous name boxcar series, which also includes both double-door boxcars and stock cars. 9500 series cars were more passenger cars of all of the various types. 9600 cars were sports-themed boxcars plus all of the high cube boxcars, including the Disney series cars. Like the 9400 series, the 9700 series was also full of Lionel's classic 6464 derived famous name series boxcars. And the 9800 series wrapped things up with standard O cars plus a large assortment of reefers. Beginning in 1987, Lionel Trains production came under new ownership as Lionel Trains Incorporated, or LTI. Initially, LTI somewhat followed MPC's catalog numbers, but a 1 was added to the 4-digit MPC catalog numbers. However, LTI's number system and how road numbers were displayed on Lionel products soon began to follow a different path, but that is a subject for another episode. I once believed that MPC's catalog numbers were completely arbitrary and with little or no forethought, but after careful study of the models produced during those years, I now know, and hopefully you do as well, that Lionel did make some effort to assign their catalog numbers with some sort of rhyme or reason behind them. So amaze your friends at the next swap meet by your knowledge of locomotive production years, or how you know that Lionel made a whole series of boxcars to go with that Dr. Pepper car you just bought. Regardless, once you find and buy these items, keep them running, and we'll catch you next time with more toy train tips and tricks.